Hello, my name is Patricia Holmes, and we are going to complete Chapter 4 in this tutorial. Remember, I'll have maybe 3 or 4 short tutorials for you to watch completely before you can finish up the chapter. But what I want you to do first is open up Chapter 4 end. The author gives us this file to show us what the final product should look like. Let me hit return. You're going to see some animation here. And let's just hit return again because I want to show you. You see the icons coming up, the hand hitting it, and then they bounce around. This type of bouncing and this timing of everything involved is a custom animation, and it's just going to let us get a little bit more familiar with the software and some of the goals. Okay, now remember, you can stop and start this video as you see fit to recap some of the learning things. I'm going to try to be succinct and move quickly. So what I want you to do is, this is the final product. Let's go ahead and open up the start file for Chapter 4. And this is the start file. Immediately save it as a working file so we can save it as something else to preserve the start one. Working. Let's spell it right. And I already have a file that I originally created, so I'm going to hit replace. So we're all going to start from scratch. And the first thing we want to understand here is a couple of the learning outcomes for this particular chapter. The learning outcomes is that we can get really specific with how we animate. So let's just get to it. Let's animate these 3 icons and move them up on the stage. The first thing we want to do is we want to go ahead and click on the frame of the US layer and then hold the shift key down and click on the next 2 frames. So we selected these 3 keyframes. We are now going to right click and choose create motion tween. That automatically adds 24 frames. Conversely, you can select the 3 keyframes and you can go insert timeline keyframe, and that's essentially insert timeline and insert create motion tween. There's already a motion tween on there, so now it's telling us it wants to remove it. So anyway, so we have a command on there to move it. Let's go ahead, take the blue playhead, go to the very end of this on 24. You can see the 24 right here. We're on frame 24. We're going to select these 3 icons by holding our shift key down and click. And we're just going to take our mouse and we're going to make sure that last one is selected, and we're going to move it up. I knew that last one wasn't selected. Hold the shift key down, click on this one. There we go. Now I let go of everything. I'm going to take the mouse and move it up here, and we're going to put it right underneath the words. But wait, I can't see the words. Well, let's expand everything out. So we have these 3 frames that are at frame 24. Let's hit a frame, which is F5, or insert timeline frame. There's the hand at the bottom is holding the words. Insert timeline frame. See, easy peasy. Okay, so what we did is we just moved the animation from these icons from the bottom up. Perfect. Now, regarding this animation here, I'm going to just use my blue scrub, and they're all together. Let's get creative, and the author wants us to see how we can really customize this. So let's go to, let me move this so you can see it. Go to the US layer, double click it, and what you're going to see is you're going to see an editing window of our animation for just this layer. So the author says, hey, look, grab an anchor, click over here on frame roughly 21, and drag it down a little bit. It's going to separate. It's going to cause a separation between these 3. Okay, and let's see what just happened to it. Where did it go? Let's hit Control Z and try that again. An anchor is a point of movement. Let me just drag this a little bit down. There we go. And we can customize the animation here. Now, let's double click this layer to get out of it. And we're back here at the main timeline. What we could do is we could, on this, to keep things simple, we can customize our own. So I'm going to move this up a little bit. See that keyframe that just happened right there? Good. I'm going to click midway. There's nothing here. I'm going to move it again. And see that keyframe that just popped up? And it's allowing us to customize it. What we want for sure is we want at the end of the timeline here, which is in frame 24, we want all of these to meet together. So let's go ahead and do that. And click on this one, have them all meet. Oops. Control Z. Okay, click and move it up. Good. Okay, now they all meet together. So let's click on the Euro layer and edit this a little bit. Separate. We just want a little separation here. Click on this a little bit more. Little separation. And then let's click on the yen for a little bit of separation. Okay, I think you got my point, that we can on the main timeline we can customize these by just editing. But if you wanted to, and again I cannot stress the option, this is optional, you could double click the layer and you can go into this the Y axis, and you can tweak this line. I call it tweaking, meaning move it around, and it will change your animation. Okay, so to keep the video short and simple, I'm going to go ahead and stop here. Please watch the next video so we can continue on with this chapter. Thanks for